YouTube family, my name is Elysia English, but you already know that if you joined this video. Thank you so much for joining me today. I can't even tell you how excited I am to be filming today's video. About 3 weeks or so ago, I launched my very first Elysia English Create With Me kits. And because you're watching this video, it means that you likely purchased one of my kits. If not, I know you've been cheering me on my very first launch. So don't worry if you did not order a Create With Me Elysia English kit. Go grab something that you're working on at home and come and create with all of us. This video is live to the public. You don't have to have purchased a box to see this video. So welcome everyone who joined me today. So during this video, we're going to create with your Create With Me box, and you're gonna get to see what is in the kits in case you'd like to purchase a future box. I'm so excited to show you all the hard work I put into each and every box. Every box was made with love. Let's open our box. So each of your boxes was custom made by me. Everything in the box is handcrafted. You're gonna see you have a monogram box. The boys helped to create with me and do a special monogram on the front of your kit. And when you open your box inside, you're going to see a tag at the top. And it says, "Thank you for helping my dreams bloom. I'm excited to create with you on August 15th. That's today, it's the day. And then it's going to give the link to the YouTube. And then of course I signed them all for you. Inside your box, you have everything you need to create the project we're gonna work on today. So the first thing you're going to find is an Elysia English paintbrush. Just a freebie to add to the box in case you've never tried one before. A sticker, a rope to hang your project, a wand to spread some wood glue, combination of different paintbrushes, a makeup sponge. You've seen me use these in plenty of my videos. I thought you might want to try one. Paint palette, a piece of sandpaper, selection of paint colors you're going to need for today's video. So you're going to get yellow, white, black, 2 different shades of green and a shade of brown. And then the fun part, you're going to get all of the pieces that I handcrafted and hand scroll saw cut out for you. These took so long to do, but I loved every second of preparing your kit for you. So I hope that you like all of the pieces. And I had so much fun seeing all the video clips that you guys sent me or photos of how you thought this kit was going to assemble. That was pretty fun for me this week. So now I'm going to show you how you're going to use your pieces. So you're going to get a cute little scroll saw cutout bumblebee, 2 different leaves, a combination leaf, compliments of Dayton, who thought you definitely needed a leaf that was joined together, and a singular leaf, scroll saw cutout word that says welcome, and then the fun part. So inside your box, you're going to have had a large circle. That's going to be the base of your project. Then you're going to find a smaller circle, and you're going to layer that directly in the middle of your large circle. We're going to go through all these steps as we're assembling and painting everything and putting it together. But I just want to give you the visual of what we're going to be making today so you can see how it's going to come to life when we kind of get to that stage. So you'll notice that inside your box, you have a whole bunch of petals, and all of the petals are numbered. You're going to start at the top of your circle. So I'm going to do it the reverse way so that you can see. So at the top where your clock would be 12 o'clock, you're going to place your number 1. And you're going to find all your numbers in the actual order. And you'll be able to line these up wherever you'd like, or spaced out however you would like once you get them out of your box. So you can see we have created a sunflower head with all of your petals, and then you're going to be able to put your welcome in the middle, and you'll have 2 different leaves that you can put on wherever you'd like. So I'm just going to quickly put them here for now, and then a cute little bee to put on your flower. And at the end, we're going to put on a hanging rope so that you can hang this as a door hanger. So now we get to disassemble it, paint it all, sand it, do all of the steps to be able to put this together. So I'm going to leave the main circle, the largest circle, as raw wood. And I did include a piece of sandpaper for you so you can give some really nice extra smooth sanding edges if you'd like. So you have that included in your box. And I'm going to set this aside. And I'm also going to set my center circle aside. And the first thing I want to do, because I'm so excited and yellow is my favorite color, and you know I love sunflowers, I thought this was the perfect project to give you an Elysia English kit to start off with, is I'm going to use the yellow paint. I love these cute little jars. And I'm going to release some of the paintbrushes that you'll find in your little sunflower tape here. You have 2 large ones and a smaller one in case you'd like to do some details. I'm going to use one of the larger paintbrushes and paint my petals. I'm going to just paint the top of my petals. Again, if you'd like to do some extra sanding with your sandpaper, you can do that. But I'm going to just paint the top. If you want to paint the sides and then distress it, or just paint the sides and leave it solid, you should have plenty of yellow paint to do that. But I kind of like the idea of having the raw wood on the side. Since I spent so much time cutting mine out, I'm going to leave the sides raw. Only thing that you'll find that you need for this project that was not included in your kit is just something to dab and rinse off your paintbrush. The tip that I'm going to give you to be able to not get it on the sides is to paint away from the edge, and then you'll be able to smooth out the top if you don't want to paint the sides. If you were to pull in from the sides, you'll get paint all down the side of your petals. So I'm going to just paint away from my edges, and then I can smooth out my paint so I have nice lines once I get the edges done. I don't know about you, but it's so much more fun for me to create a project knowing that there's so many of you on the other end working at the same time as I am. The only thing we need to figure out maybe for future videos is how we can do it where we can see each other. That would make it even more fun. So we'll have to work on that for future. Also, let me know in the comments section. These first videos are pre-recorded so that we make sure we get all the kinks out for the first projects. But we might be able to, in future, do these as live videos. At least you'll be able to see me doing the project live. So let me know in the comments section if that's something you'd like to have me work on for the next months. And now I've provided you with a lot of the yellow paint, so you should be able to do a second coat regardless of if you paint the sides or not, which I plan on doing. So you'll have just a little bit of dry time between your first yellow coat, but we can paint some first coats on some of our other materials while we wait in between. All of the paint colors that you got in your kit are all custom. The boys and I created some perfect colors for you. So you can't get these colors anywhere else but here. So my thought was with the sunflower is that this is a great end of summer entrance into fall decor item that you can hang up, that you can keep out for all of fall if you want, but it's still summer friendly. So we're working on doing the sunflower, and every single month the kit that you'll get in the mail will be a different project. So this project is now finished on the site. We sold out in just 4 days, and our September project is something completely different. So I hope that my kits will inspire you to create projects. You'll be able to learn some new skills, create with a whole community of different crafters online, whether you're a seasoned crafter or just a beginner. The kits are going to give you everything you need to be able to create the project, and then all the tutorial for being able to build the project exactly how I do along with the videos. So I think that that should help those who would like to do more creating but maybe need a little bit of guidance along the way. Or if you are very good at crafting, they're super fun projects who will do some additional skill building as we go. I also included a paint palette for you, so if you'd like to put your paint onto the palette, you may, but I'm going to work just right out of my tub. I was going to prepare a warm tea to create with everyone today. I don't know if you are coffee drinkers or tea drinkers, or you have another refreshing beverage that you like that you might have along with you, but it is so hot today here that the tea was definitely not going to be joining the create with me today. So I don't know what it's doing where you live, but we are on hurricane watch. And now I've provided you with a lot of the yellow paint, so you should be able to do a second coat regardless of if you paint the sides or not, which I plan on doing. So you'll have just a little bit of dry time between your first yellow coat, but we can paint some first coats on some of our other materials while we wait in between. I love how all of the petals are completely unique, and it was very meaningful to me to make sure that all of the kits that I created and sent out were handcrafted by me. So every single shape that you have in your kit, I personally hand scroll saw cut out for you. And I loved every second of it, as I mentioned earlier in the video. So I'm going to let my petals completely dry while we work on another stage of the project, and then I'll be able to come back and do a second coat. Not only because I'd like to cover up my numbers, but also because I want to make sure that I have everything like thoroughly painted over, and then I might do a little bit of distressing on mine, and I'll show you how I'm going to do that. So I'm going to rinse my brush, but if you didn't bring some water with you, that's okay. You have another brush to be able to use. So I'm going to leave my little bee for last because I'm going to add some details to my bee. But we have 2 leaves that we can paint with our green shades. You can choose whichever way you'd like to do that. And then we also have our welcome word. I'm going to give these a little bit more sanding. And then we're also going to paint the middle circle here. And I'm going to show you a couple different ways that you can make the middle of your sunflower. And I think I'm going to paint my leaves while I'm waiting for the yellow to dry so that we can kind of have a few things drying in the meantime. And I'm going to do a little extra sanding on my welcome so that I can paint that as well. And I'm choosing to paint my welcome white, and then because I have 2 shades of green, I'm going to do one of my dual leaf with one shade and my singular leaf with the other shade. And I'm going to use my little palette because these little tubs, you didn't need quite as much paint for those aspects of the project, so I want to get them out on the paint palette so that I can even mix them up or do some detailing on my leaves if I'd like to do that. So I'm going to give my welcome a little bit of a sand. I'm going to get some of my paint colors out onto my palette here so that I can work with a few different colors. So I'm going to let some white out. So I have a lighter green, and then I also have a darker green, which I'd like to use. And while I'm already opening these up, I'm going to let the brown paint into my tray as well, which I'm going to use for another step, but I'm going to do it just while I have these all open. I'm going to do some coats on my leaves and on my welcome while those petals are drying. And because I have a little palette of colors here, I'm going to add a little bit of detailing to my leaves. I'm going to do one dark and one light, and then I'll be able to use a little bit of each of these colors to just add a little bit of highlights. And I'm going to use the white paint to paint the word welcome. And I chose white because I really would like this to stand out over the dark color we're going to use for the center of our sunflower. And again, you should have lots of paint to be able to play around with however you'd like your design to be. And speaking of your design to be, you are going to be painting the bee, so make sure you leave just a little bit of some of the colors in case you'd like to add some custom details to that, which we're going to do later in the video. When I'm blending and adding highlights, when I'm painting something by hand, I like to do it while the paint is still wet. Oftentimes that gives me a much more like seamless looking highlight. And so I'm going to do that while my bright green is still wet. I'm going to take just a little bit of the dark green and add it in. If you want to leave your leaf completely flat and not have any highlights, you can do that as well. It's totally up to you. Oh, the colors are so pretty. And I just so happen to have a new door to be able to hang this on because my studio window has been waiting. I've been waiting and waiting to finish this project on camera with you so that I can go hang it on my new studio. My thought process is that if you are purchasing a kit from me, then you would think that I would be handcrafting the kit. Completely done by me so that obviously that you can't get the kit anywhere else but from me, but that I would get to have a hand in every single box and know that when it's coming from me that it was done by me for you specifically. Also, it was really important to me that the materials that you have in your kit are really well done, like the hand cutting and the materials. You can see that we use solid wood for the materials to be able to have, you know, your background is a thinner piece of plywood here as your backer, but everything that's going to be the detailing on your actual project was done with a nice wood. So it's not something that's just, you know, die cut out somewhere and then mailed to me and then I mail it to you. I'm doing all of these myself. We have our welcome painted one coat. I did 2 of my leaves with a little bit of detailing on them. And before I go back and custom paint my little bee, I'm going to do a coat on my circle here. So I'm using the smaller circle for the middle of the sunflower. And I've given you some black paint in the kit, but I've also given you some brown paint. I'm going to paint my back with the black paint. And if you want to, you can use your sponge to do that, but I'm going to use my large brush. And then I'm going to do a little bit of a patterning or detailing with the sponge. I just thought it would be fun for you to try these sponges that you've heard me talk about for like 4 years on my channel because they're the best ones I found for stenciling, and I thought it would give you a chance to be able to try one. You can see why I chose to do the white welcome, because if the back circle of the sunflower is going to be dark, you would want the welcome word to stand out. And again, I'm choosing not to paint the sides of my raw wood, but you can do that if you'd like. You have lots of paint to do that. While I'm waiting for the black of my circle to dry so we can do some other detailing on that, I'm going to go back and do a second coat on my petals because they definitely need a second coat. And I did use a black marker for my numbers here. Yours should be done in pencil. That way you won't have to do as many coats to cover, but I wanted you to visually on camera be able to see the numbers on my petals really well. I'm going to work on adding some detailing to the black circle that's going to go behind our welcome. And I want to use a little bit of brown paint. You can literally do anything you want to the front of this. You can leave it completely black if you want. I'm going to distress mine just a little bit in the end, but I thought it would be fun to just dabble with a little bit of the paint and see if I can make a little bit of a texture to this. Again, you do not have to do this step, but I'll give you a couple of suggestions if you want to. You could use your sponge and use the square end and sponge a bunch of texture on it if you want to. You can use your paintbrush to be able to create maybe some circles all over it using the brown, maybe mixed with a little bit of white, which is what I think I'm going to do for mine. And or you could use your paintbrush and create some striped lines, creating sort of like a visual plaid you can put behind. Just a couple of suggestions. So what I'm going to do, I think I'm going to do some circles on mine. So what I did was I used a little bit of black paint, a little bit of brown, a little bit of white, and a little bit of green, and I just created some circles, little tiny circles, and I overlapped them. I didn't make them perfect. I just wanted to create some texture, almost like the seeds in the middle of the sunflower, but you can do it, like I said, you could make a cute plaid grid, you could checker it with your sponges, you could just add some brown texturing, or you can just leave it solid black. So the preference is totally up to you. And then I think I'm gonna let this dry and I'm just gonna scuff the edges just a little bit to make it look a little bit more 3D. And I already have my second coat now on all my sunflower petals. I have my leaves painted and I have my welcome done. And the last thing that I need to do to get the painting process done is to work on this adorable little bumblebee. Being a beekeeper, I could not resist giving you a bee for your sunflower. And so I'm going to work on custom painting my little bee next. Okay, so my adorable little bee, you could make this as simple as you absolutely want. You have some wings at the top to paint white, and then you can just do some black and yellow stripes along the body if you want. You can have some little antennas. This doesn't have to be fancy. It's gonna look adorable and really resemble a bee, regardless of how detailed you make your bee. But I'm gonna do a little bit of hand painting on mine. The first thing I'm gonna do is make the wings white, and I am using the smaller paintbrush for this. I love dabbling with just little tiny things like this that I can add details to because it's a small portion of a project. You can add lots of details and it won't take you that long, but also it's a great way for me to practice doing the little tiny hand details because when they're small like that, even if you just add a few, it looks super detailed and it really adds like another custom element to what you're working on. This is sort of the fluffy little neck of my bee. So I need a little bit of brown and a little bit of yellow. And I know because I've been stung once or twice that the back side is a little black gray stinger. So let's put that there. little bumblebee. So now I have a really cute little bumblebee that I can put on when I get everything assembled. So I think this can dry while we are assembling the rest. So you want to look for one of the deeper tubs that you had in your kit. You can see your white paint was a shorter tub. Your wood glue said glue on the top, but you can open it up. And you also have a glue wand. So that's the next part that you want to get ready. I'm going to close up some of my paint here because you should have lots of paint left over to use for another project if you'd like. And you can see I made use of my cute little palette. We now get to assemble our custom cut project and put it all together. I am really excited about this step. We're going to use our wood glue. Don't worry if your petals got mixed up in painting, because if you painted them now, you likely don't have the numbers. The numbers were so that you could see how everything's going to come together in the end. And it doesn't matter what order the petals are in. I'm doing a chunkier petal, a wider petal to a narrow petal, and then I'm just doing it as a pattern all the way around, but you can assemble it any way that you want. You don't need a ton of wood glue because this is going to be adhered regardless of how much glue you use. The wood glue will dry so quickly. And so I'm just going to put a little bit of wood glue on the 4 corners on the back of my circle. And I'm going to stick it directly in the middle of the large circle. And if you're slightly off, it doesn't really matter. You just want to make sure you have enough space around here to be able to adhere the end of each of the petals onto your actual base that you're working with. And then once I have my center on, I'm going to use some wood glue on each of the petals. Again, just on the bottom portion here, because that's the only part that's going to connect to the back of the base. The wood glue doesn't dry that fast that you won't have time to maneuver them around as you're kind of going. So don't worry, it's not like they are like super glue where they're completely hard in 10 seconds and once they're there, they're never moving. You'll have a little bit of wiggle room. You can see that I'm almost done gluing everything and I have so much glue left. You should have plenty to work with. I wanted to make sure that you had a lot of materials, maybe even way too many materials, so that there was never any question if you would have enough. You didn't have to stress during your project that you were gonna have enough to finish something. How pretty is that? And now I'm going to put some wood glue on the back of my welcome. And again, my white was painted on the front, so make sure you put glue on the right side or you'll be repainting. Just trying to pick some of the chunkier parts of the lettering to put the glue on so that I don't get glue all gooped everywhere underneath. And I'm gonna put mine directly in the middle. And then once I have my welcome on, I can decide where I want to put my leaves. And I think I'm gonna play around with mine for a moment. I think that looks pretty cute, just one on each side. It's bee time. I think I'm going to just put him right next to the center of the flower as if he's actually coming into the flower. And now I'm going to let my sunflower dry for about a half an hour and let my wood glue kind of do its thing before I go to lift it upright, or I might just disassemble everything. I want to let it go. And I'm going to use a little bit of glue on the bottom of my rope here, and then I'll be able to adhere it to the back of the large circle. That way you'll be able to hang it on to a wreath hook or something on a door and use it as a door hanger. And what you want to do is leave the hanger as long as possible, so it's going to glue solid rock on the back before you go and hang it up. So I'm going to leave mine for a little bit, and then I'm going to show it to you completely done. I love it! I'm so excited, and I can't believe that not only do I have one of these, but you also have one, because you've just created this project with me. How fun is that? So you can see all of the pieces that I handcrafted for you to be able to put together, and then you are able to put your creative touch on your project. So yours might not look exactly like mine, but yours is going to be your creative version of it, which I think is so fun. I have added my hanger on the back. I'm still being very careful with mine just to make sure that I'm totally dry. And you can see I have my welcome, I have all my petals, my cute little honeybee going to the seeds of the flower, leaves, and I just think it is absolutely amazing. And the good thing is that the paint that was applied into your kits, you can now hang this outside. It's so cute. I love it. Okay, so can we drive to the studio now so I can hang this on the door? Because I have been dying to get over there to put this thing up. So I want to thank everyone who joined me today on the video. This was an absolute dream come true. I was so excited not only to be able to launch my first Create With Me kits. I've been dreaming of having my own craft boxes to sell since I was a little girl. You know, I've always been a very creative person, and it has always been a dream of mine to be able to bring my creativity to the world in one way or another. And then this is just a really amazing way for me to be able to do my designs, bring my projects to life, and then bring everyone along with me. Our YouTube family members, as we say all the time, we absolutely adore every one of you, and the support that you give our family just watching the videos is like second to none. Honestly, you guys are part of our daily life. We see all of your names. We absolutely know how many of you watch, and you want to be the first ones to see the video, and for that, I want to thank everyone. Anyone who took time and energy out of their own family budgets to be able to order one of our kits is a huge thanks on our end. It helps to support our family and our channel, and I want to be able to continue to do this. So rest assured, we will be doing this monthly. You can order these as month-to-month boxes, but you can also order a subscription where a box will automatically come to you every single month with an automated payment. And we have many of our YouTube family members who have done that. So this isn't a one-time project. This is something we're going to continue to do. And I'm so honored that you trusted in me to buy a box that you didn't even know what was in it, trusting that my creative vision was going to come to life in your box. So that means so much to me. So thank you to everyone. I'm not gonna cry at the end of my very first launch video, but I am incredibly honored, and I just so humbling that I got so many orders for it. You didn't see me crying on the couch every night when those first 4 days all the orders were coming in, but you guys have made this dream a reality for me. So thank you so much. I had so much fun creating with you today. Let's do this again on September 15th. I can't. I personally could not believe the response that I got. All of you have been buzzing in my ear saying, let us be able to go back and get an August box. So my original plan was that I thought I would have plenty of boxes for everyone, but since you guys sold me out in only 4 days, I needed to make sure that I had enough time to properly create the kit, work out any kinks with anything, and be able to get these done to perfection. So now that all the kits are out, I've decided this time only, I'm going to release a few of the August kits. This is not something you're going to be able to do every month because it will be impossible for me to be able to do each month's subscriptions and boxes that we're going out as single order month to month, and I won't be able to continue to do this. So for this time only, I've now on the site put some last chance orders. You'll see that our original August boxes were absolutely sold out. I've created another listing, last chance. You can also subscribe on that listing as well, or you can order month to month, but this will never happen again. The only reason I'm doing it this time is because so many of you were writing me saying that you wish you got to see what was in the kit. So So keep in mind, this is the only time you're ever gonna see what is in the kit before your kit comes. The point of the kits is that every month you get a surprise, a mystery project that you get to open with me on the video. I know a lot of you snuck in your boxes before the 15th, and that's totally up to you. But the point is you get to get a special surprise from me every month, and we get to create together. So this is the one and only time you're gonna get to have seen what was in the kit and then be able to order one.